I'm going to read the forward of the book so you guys are going to understand why I wrote the book in the first place. And I hope you like. Please share. And also you can reach me at Collective Souls Entertainment, all spelled out, at gmail.com. Oh, by the way, the book's called The Many Tears of a Black Clown by me, B.C The Black Clown. This book is dedicated to those who were supportive over the last 3 years, and also those who said I'd never find a publisher, let alone find an audience. When I first started writing the poems and songs in this book, I wasn't actually planning to put them all together in a book, nor did I think I was writing them would change my life the way that I saw and the way that I saw it, mainly because I didn't think I could find any like-minded people who would buy it. But over the course of 3 years, I did a lot of traveling from coast to coast, and I found that not only did other people like my poems and felt the same about some of the issues that I addressed in my poems, but also through poetry, you can bring attention to a lot of social issues that many have no real idea about. Some of the subjects that are talked about are issues that we are as a nation must take very seriously, or otherwise we may find ourselves living in a Mad Max way of life. Growing up, I was inspired by men like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who spoke to all those who had or were being mistreated in America, as well as many other places around the world. He wasn't just a voice for blacks in America, but also for those who were not accepted as equals anywhere. He was more than just a minister. He was also a man who based his life around nonviolent, faith-based protests against hatred, and as a result, changed the lives of millions of his time and many still yet to come. But what I learned most from him was that if you truly believe in something that many may hate you enough to do whatever it takes to silence you. In his case, it was one of the very people he was fighting for, and not the so-called enemy that his civil rights movement was fighting against. But he was not afraid. He knew that sooner or later what happened would eventually happen. As a matter of fact, the day before he died, he gave a speech stating just that, and even said he didn't fear what was ahead. But even after his death, his message still lives in the hearts and minds of many leaders, even today, who still fight to make all men equal. I also learned that we can do so much more if we stand together in love and compassion instead of returning hate and racism to those who did many evil things to people who just simply wanted to be treated as human beings and not as animals. In the short time that he was alive, he changed so much by living by example and not just by preaching to the masses. When I first heard the I Have a Dream speech, I saw how many faces not black were just as much a part of the civil rights movement. He was and still is an example of what faith in God can do. I believe that he also set a standard for Christians everywhere to live by putting our words into action so that all who do not believe may see our lives and seek God. But I must say, when I see how people treat each other, I wonder, did he die in vain? I was also inspired by many musicians like John Lennon, Marvin Gaye, Bob Marley, and Eminem. John and Bob, because they spoke of us coming together. One said, just give peace a chance, while having a diverse crowd playing with him. And the other said, get up, stand up, to inspire us to stand up for our rights. Both have become staples in music history because they weren't just entertainers. But many people have a negative image of them, mostly people who've never gone to one of their shows or have never really listened to either. Marvin spoke to blacks about issues, like what's going on, that are still relevant as they were then. I was also inspired by Eminem, often known as a rebellious and vulgar rap artist who speaks to the angry youth of today, but he's more aggressive than those before him and in his way of expressing how he feels about how a lot of the same subjects. But what they all have in common is that they all knew that music could cross the line of race and culture, and that if we all come together, we can make a difference. They also showed us that no matter where you're from, we're all the same. I found out through these poems that age is not an issue, and race is not an issue, and geography is just places, places with similar faces, and that all people, no matter how they may seem to be outside, we're all be on the outside, we're all the same. And that our ideals may differ, but our hearts are just alike. Everyone wants love, respect, and compassion. But many are afraid to show these things because if we do, many will take us as weak and vulnerable. Most of us don't even want to know why we're afraid. Most of us don't even care. because the life has afforded the human race so many distractions and feel-good solutions that we don't see what we do to those around us and the effects. You always see in the media how someone built up to be great, only so we can tear them down later and show that they're human, just like us. But then laugh at the Bible and all it stands for because we can't believe that we're not in control of our lives. They say that history repeats itself, so what's the point of recording it if we're only going to do it again? It's written, insanity is repeating the same thing, expecting different results. Does that mean our world is insane? I mean, there's been war since the beginning of man because one wanted to control another or whatever the other one had, that one felt they needed it more. We record how many die each time and speak of how sad it was to have them lost them, yet we still can't come together as humankind and help each other as much as we would expect to be helped. Well, this book is a representation of what pain can turn into if you don't let it kill you. This book is for any person in the entire world who wants to give up. I want to tell you, don't throw in the towel, as you never know what tomorrow may bring till you're there. And in any moment, you could be one who needs love, respect, and compassion. I poured my heart and soul into this book, and without God and the people he put into my life, I would never have made it. So I hope and pray that all these words take life and help to heal anybody who reads these words, and may it be a blessing in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And may we take notice for our children in the future, because these are the last days, whether we believe it or not. I look forward to meeting you, and I hope you enjoy the book, my friend. And for even those that don't believe in the beliefs that I do, my belief isn't that everybody's got to believe it. My belief is not that you force it on anybody, but this is just my story. So if you want to help me get 100 copies of this book, DM me and let's see what we can do. Let's work a deal. I'm willing to go anywhere in the country to sell my book. Been doing it for over 15 years. So peace out.